Good morning or good afternoon if you're watching this in the afternoon. My name is Daniela Standen and I am an associate professor at the International Study and Language Institute at the University of Reading. For the past couple of years, I have been working on a project to develop a coherent curriculum and co-curricular provision to develop global competencies and global graduate attributes, internationalize the curriculum, and increase short mobility opportunities for students. I have been ably and competently supported by 7 student partners, and I am very grateful that 3 of them agreed to be part of this presentation to share their work and their experiences. And now I'll leave them to introduce themselves.
Hello everybody, my name is Angelica Velarde Silva. I was a student partner and I was studying a master's degree in advanced English studies.
My name is Maxine Bruch and I joined the University of Reading in September 2020 as a student on the study abroad scheme. After being the student representative on the program, Daniela invited me to become a student partner to provide a student's perspective on the development of the intercultural competence and communication module. At that time and up to now, I am studying English literature and communication and media science at the Heinrich Heine University in Düsseldorf.
Hi, my name is Honora, and my role in the project as student partner was to create a visual identity for the scheme, and I'm currently studying graphic communication.
The University of Reading adopts a student partnership approach. Partnership is based on trust and respect, collaborations that are empowering and inclusive, that enable development of meaningful change and create a sense of belonging to an academic community. The program had 3 distinct phases. The first phase was investigating, and Angelica and Amandine worked on that aspect. Maxine, Eleanor, and Melissa then collaborated with me in developing the curriculum, in particular the assessment. And finally, Anora and Aisha developed the visual identity for the program. And now I'm going to leave you with Angelica, who's going to tell us about the investigation phase.
About the investigation phase, it was very interesting. It was a good stage to start. So the first thing that we did was reading a lot, writing notes down, and we started, me and Daniela, having some video calls with possible stakeholders, say employees from the university or not, communities, possible investors, to see if we could get some funding for our project. We did this through video calls. There were different and several video calls, followed by emails to be in contact with these possible stakeholders, and the outcome was very positive. We got to talk to a lot of different stakeholders, and Amandine wrote this down. After this investigation, first stage of investigation, there was a second part. Me and Amandine had to interview students from the University of Reading or future students, possible students, to see what were their requirements, what were their needs when it comes to studying abroad, and what leads them to study at the University of Reading. What would be a program of excellence when it comes to globalization and internalization? And that's what we did. We created focus groups, and they could choose between different times and different days when it was the best option for them, and we would interview them, and Amandine wrote all their answers down. I was interviewing them. It was very interesting to see what they need from a university such as the University of Reading.
Amandine and Angelica's investigation showed that the students valued both curricular and co-curricular opportunities. So we developed a program that offered both. Importantly, they wanted both to be able to have experiences at home and abroad. So again, we developed a program that had both sets of opportunities. So students could stay in the UK and develop international competencies and global graduate attributes, or they could go abroad. So on the co-curricular strand, we joined up with the existing Reading Experience Award, and we added an international strand to it, or a global engagement strand to it. Students have to complete a set of activities to develop awareness of global issues. Then they will engage through work or volunteering, and finally reflect on their experience. The award then goes on the student transcript. Importantly, students can do everything while they are in the UK, or they can go abroad for this. The curricular provision, on the other hand, is completely based at home at the moment. So this is through what we call the Global Graduate Programme. We had a couple of existing modules. These were English for Study Abroad and the Modern Britain module. And to this, we added 2 new modules. The first one, which we run for the first time this academic year, is intercultural competence and communication. And this is where Melissa, Eleanor, and Maxine really helped with developing. Next year, we will look at developing a new module, and this time this will allow students to go abroad as part of a summer school. So I'm now going to leave you with Maxine, that's going to tell you more about her involvement with the curricular development.
As Eleanor, Melissa, and I completed the modules Modern Britain 1 and 2, which have similar setups, Daniela asked us to support her by sending her feedback on the outline and particularly on the assessments of the intercultural competence and communication module. We were asked to take a closer look at the assessment's workload, as students shouldn't be over-assessed, and to think about what assessment skills students need to fulfill the requirements of the module. Having the opportunity as a student to help shaping and structuring the module was one of the most useful ways of creating a fair workload, as all of us had different academic experiences and expectations. That is why the 3 of us came together 2 or 3 times to review, analyze, and discuss which soft skills and weekly support as well as help students really require during the autumn and spring term. Since the module was or is aimed at first-year students, it was especially important and valuable to us, but also to Daniela, that students receive support and input from various academic institutions, such as the library or lecturers, for instance, in the form of supervision or group supervision, or general study advice. In the end, Daniela, Elena, Melissa, and I came together to revise and combine our ideas to create and develop the most balanced and effective outline, assessment, and support students might need.
So, as a result of the students' feedback, we really worked hard to include assessment skills sessions throughout the module. And as you can see here, the circles on the right-hand side of the screen, those were all additional sessions that we embedded in the module so that we can really support students with the development of their assessment literacy. The next part was making sure that students knew about the program and the modules. And for this, we wanted to develop a strong, cohesive visual identity so that the students could see something and think, oh, I know that. Those are the modules to develop graduate attributes, global graduate attributes. And this is where Anora and Esha stepped in, and Anora will now say more about this aspect.
Our goal was to deliver a visual identity for the client, which would essentially promote this new module. Our challenge was to make sure that collectively the final deliverables work together using the same visual identity to promote and communicate across what the Global Graduates module has to offer for potential and existing students. Both myself and Isha worked together to create a cohesive brand identity across the 3 deliverables we agreed on with our client Daniela. We knew that to achieve this, we had to remind ourselves of the existing brand identities of the university itself to ensure that this cohesiveness was implemented throughout all final outcomes, whilst echoing the visual identity of the university. The set of deliverables that were agreed on were a set of postcards for each sub-module, a website banner for the page corresponding to this program on the university's existing website, and social media graphics to be posted on platforms such as Instagram and Twitter. These final outcomes were to be displayed all digitally with the exception of the postcards, which were to be printed as well as handed out to new students during Welcome Week.
And now we move to what is possibly the most important part of this talk, which are the student reflections on the partnership approach.
Reflecting upon the partnership approach, I can really say without a doubt that the experience overall was fantastic. It was a perfect opportunity to collaborate with researchers at the University of Reading and outside, and with universities abroad as well. So I really felt that my contribution was valued, my ideas were heard, so it was a safe space to be creative. At the same time, it was challenging, of course, but we felt, me and Amandine, that what we were doing could influence how the program will be shaped in the future. So it really had a purpose, and of course we gained new skills such as conducting and preparing focus groups, writing the ideas of others down. We gained a lot of knowledge and experiences, like personal ones. And so just to highlight something that didn't work so well, let's say that, let's call it like that. So I would say working from home wasn't as easy, or was more challenging than I could have expected, because of course when you work from home you have other challenges to face, such as the connection, or not being able to work with your team face to face and sharing ideas. And so I would have liked that this was changed, but of course it got us in the middle of the pandemic, so that wasn't possible. It was very rewarding though that at the end we could share our results and that you're seeing them now.
Overall, I would describe this experience as useful and helpful, as it provided me with experience that I can implement within my future design career, but it also provided me with clientele work to include in my portfolio.
I highly enjoyed providing a student's perspective on the development of the module, and it was a pleasure working with Daniela, Elena, and Melissa. My contribution, but I guess I can also speak for Elena and Melissa, was always valued. And it was a fantastic opportunity to gain new experiences and to sneak a peek at the methodical and didactic methods lecturers have to use and possess to develop innovative modules. As at least Elena and I came from different universities and Melissa and I from the same, we were able to complement each other, evaluate distinct forms of assessments, and put forward new ideas. Throughout the whole process, Daniela was always open-minded and happy to receive our feedback, which enabled us to make a change and influence and enhance the module as a student. It was rewarding to see that our contribution was much cherished and had made a valuable impact. This experience was and is the reason why I decided to become a tutor at my home university for our freshmen, and one of the explains why I love to be part of academic research myself. Academic research is a way to think outside the box, challenge oneself, and become creative. In my opinion, having the opportunity to influence academia as a student is a highly important and worthwhile approach of making education transparent and more effective.
And a few final reflections from me. Overall, this project for me, encapsulates Felton's definition of student-faculty partnership. In this project, all participants, and there were many, students, academics, and professional staff, they all brought their expertise, and all expertise was equally valued. Hanora and Aisha, as graphic design communication students, were the best placed to develop a visual identity. They did a much better job than I ever could. And I was absolutely amazed at what they achieved with my sort of not very, very well formed ideas. Amandine and Angelica really got to the bottom of what students wanted. And although we were not able to provide everything, we did do our best to provide both the curricular and co-curricular opportunities and provide at home and abroad strands so that all needs could be satisfied. Maxine, Eleanor, and Melissa, they had the best understanding of what students needed in terms of assessment support. And we pretty much did everything they suggested, even though maybe it wasn't what we would have initially done as academics. And the assessment of the module was much, much better for it. And we continued to listen to students throughout the module, and we made a few tweaks and changes along the way. And we're now very pleased with everything that we've got. And it has really been a team effort. Thank you for listening. We look forward to your questions at the conference, where we are hopefully going to be joined by some of the other student partners. I'll leave you with some references in case you want to look into student partnerships further.